Alrighty, hey everyone, and welcome to this week's Extra Time, a little side offering to our Sunday session where this time we've been thinking about Jesus' invitation for all who are thirsty to come to him. As usual with these extra times, feel free to dwell on or skip through any questions as you please. The idea being to press pause on each slide where there's a gap before carrying on when you're ready. First up for today though, we began with some good news on people's generosity in helping to provide laptops and tablets for young people in Burntwood who are in need of some additional help with IT resources at home. Now, I appreciate technology may or may not be your thing, so let's serve up this question for starters. What item of technology in your home are you most grateful for and why? Now, we looked at a passage from John's Gospel, chapter 7 in the session, in which Jesus used his attendance at a festival in Jerusalem called the Feast of Tabernacles to offer his invitation to all who are thirsty to come to him and drink. And we saw how this thirst-quenching water imagery was a metaphor for the way in which God's Spirit can flow in and through us, both for our own benefit and for the benefit of others. However, as we explored, the backdrop to this invitation given by Jesus contrasted with the practice of the high priest going down to the pool of Siloam to fetch back a pitcher of water to pour over the temple altar. And so Jesus, it seems, was directly challenging that idea, telling people that they don't need to rely on the ritual of temple worship to know God's sustenance. Rather, they can come to God, they can come to Jesus directly. And so a couple of questions related to this. How important do you think it is to explore the historical or cultural background to Bible stories, and why? And then secondly, to what extent do you think it's important that we're able to understand and engage with our own culture in order to live out a life of faith? Now, we reflected on Jesus' invitation for all who are thirsty to come to him for refreshment. And I shared about my own desire in this current season to be able to be more present, less distracted and more focused on whatever I'm currently engaging with. I suspect this level of distraction for me has been heightened during the pandemic because without the usual variety of activities and options open to me, I, like many others, have found sleep has become more broken, concentration more difficult to muster, and the general sense of being unable to plan for the future in any concrete way, well, that's pretty unsettling. That's me, but what about you? Have a think on these questions. What would you say you're thirsty for in life at the moment? To what extent is this thirst connected to the pandemic, or has it been something you've been aware of for some time? And then thirdly, what do you imagine Jesus would say or do for you if you came to him with this need? All right, and then finally, Jesus' analogy of his living water flowing through us paints a picture of us being able to give out from what we've received, offering something of the goodness of God to those we live alongside. And so a final couple of questions on this. Have you generally felt more or less able to offer loving care to people during the pandemic? And with that answer, and the idea of focusing on what we can do rather than what we can't, what fresh or innovative ways might you be able to offer God's love to people this week? Okie dokie, we'll put things to bed there for this week. Thanks very much for engaging with what's been on offer. And as always, if it's something you found helpful, do please feel free to share it with friends or on social media. As I said in the session though, hang in there. May you know God's sustenance this week. We'll be back with something new next week though, so until then, take care and let's get together again soon. Alright, bye for now.